Japan loves to tell the world that it's a nation of tradition, politeness, and cherry blossoms. But let's be honest, if you scratch beneath the tatami mat, what you actually find is something much more profitable. An adult video empire so vast that it makes Hollywood look like a school play. Yes, welcome to the world where middle-aged men in convenience stores casually flip through DVDs with covers so outrageous they'd give your grandmother a heart attack, and nobody blinks an eye. This is the side of Japan you don't see on NHK documentaries. Now, before you click away thinking, oh no, another weeb channel romanticizing Japanese culture, relax, this is not that channel. Here, we're going to strip Japan's AV industry down to its business model, its bizarre social rules, and its ironic role as one of the country's only real exports. Think of it as an economics lecture, but with a lot more pixelation. Because let's face it, while the West thinks Japan is the land of anime and sushi, the real money has always been in selling fantasy, fetish, and a very short shelf life of youth. And here's the punchline. Japan's AV industry isn't just entertainment. It's a mirror reflecting the country's obsession with control, conformity, and yes, the eternal worship of youth. So if you ever wondered how Japan can simultaneously produce the world's most polite customer service and some of the most hardcore AV scenarios involving tentacles, well, you've arrived at the right video. Buckle up, because by the end of this, you'll never look at that quiet salaryman nation the same way again. Oh, and if you're new here, don't just sit there silently like a Japanese commuter on the morning train. Smash that subscribe button, because we're about to unpack the AV industry with the kind of brutal honesty Japan itself never dares to say out loud. Let's break down Japan's AV industry. No, not in the way your shady coworker breaks down his browser history at 2 a.m. We're talking about the actual business model. And trust me, it's more structured than Toyota's supply chain. Here's how it works. First, the AV Actress Office. Think of it like a talent agency, but instead of representing Hollywood's A-listers, it manages thousands of hopefuls with stage names like Miku A or Yuna B. These offices scout, groom, and, let's be blunt, push young women into the spotlight for their 15 minutes of DVD bin fame. It's HR, but with more glitter and fewer employee benefits. Then comes the production company. This is where the magic, or tragedy, depending on your perspective, happens. They hire directors who probably dreamed of making art house cinema but ended up choreographing Nurse Fantasy Volume 63. Camera operators set up tripods in budget hotel rooms, and editors cut footage with the enthusiasm of someone who really, really wants to go home. Next, the circulator, or wholesaler. These guys are the middlemen, moving stacks of DVDs and digital files the way Wall Street brokers move stocks. Their job is simple. Get as much product as possible onto the shelves before the next wave of actresses appears. Because in this industry, loyalty lasts shorter than a seasonal frappuccino. Finally, the vendors. Convenience stores, adult shops, and yes, even vending machines. Japan is the only country where you can buy lunch, cigarettes, and an AV DVD all in the same place. Efficiency, thy name is Japan. And then there's the grading system for actresses. At the top, you've got the tantai, solo debut titles featuring one actress marketed like a pop idol. These are the premium brands, promoted like rare Pokemon cards. But once the shine fades, they're downgraded to kikaku or ensemble projects. Translation: congratulations, you're now one of 6 interchangeable schoolgirls in this month's release. It's cruel, yes, but it perfectly illustrates Japan's obsession with youth and novelty. AV isn't just about selling fantasy. It's about manufacturing obsolescence, just like Japanese electronics, but with more skin. So there you have it, the clean, efficient pipeline that takes a nervous 19-year-old from a talent office to the bargain bin at Don Quixote in record time. Welcome to the twisted Olympics of AV star ranking, where women are judged on everything from purity to pixel-ready skin. And titles decide if you're a contracted superstar or a slumming background player. Let's break it down. Tantai, single or solo actresses, are the industry's VIPs. Big studios can only afford them, and rightly so, because they come with appearance quality so high it requires its own skincare line. They're hired under exclusive contracts, groomed and milked for as much youth and purity as possible, because money. These dazzling debutantes are marketed like K-pop idols with portable cameras. Their irresistible allure isn't accidental. They're selected for youthfulness, beautifulness, perfect body, perfect skin texture and complexion, purity and innocence, i.e., the idealized, commodified virgin fantasy. Meanwhile, kikaku actresses are the foot soldiers, background talent hired per production, totally disposable, often nameless, and there to fulfill whatever bizarre, plot-heavy scenario the studio dreams up. They're often lumped into ensemble casts, overshadowed by flashy storytelling and male-driven narratives. Then there's the hybrid, kikaku tantai. These are the freelancers who aren't tied down by exclusivity, but have enough star power to carry a solo project anyway. They're kind of like that kid who flirts with every group but gets invited to all the parties. They work a ton, command flexible rates, sometimes outperforming full-time contracted tantai in total earnings, and fit out industry demand like mid-size SUVs in an economy market. Beyond the contract type, what really sets tantai apart is narrative and aesthetic. Tantai videos sell a fantasy of naivete, shy girls with porcelain skin who have no sexual agency, because the industry and audience loves that obsession with control and conformity. In contrast, kikaku productions lean heavily into male dominance and storyline setups like, "Oh no, you made me do it," feeding into fetish and power play fantasies, not purity porn. Tantai =, Lotus Child Goddess, your dream crush that's so squeaky clean she's basically a statue. Kikaku =, utility player, nameless, faceless, and there for plot reasons, or because the wholesaler needed volume. Kikaku tantai =, the adult video freelance rock star. No strings, no lost exclusivity, maximum hustle. The industry values youth, freshness, and malleability. While elevating tantai to unattainable pedestal status, they shuffle through kikaku with the efficiency of a Don Quixote convenience store. It is absolutely ruthless and hilariously efficient. Here's where the AV industry grabs its eyeliner and tries on a J-pop makeover. Because when your core product is pixelated sex fantasy, nothing screams mainstream appeal like Instagram reels and YouTube vlogs. Talent agencies and production companies in AV land are terrified of any hint of darkness. So what better antidote than an influencer aesthetic? They've got these poor AV actresses posting glowy morning routines, cute off-duty selfies, and even the occasional oat milk latte story from Narita Airport, all in an effort to trick the algorithm and unsuspecting followers into believing they're watching a wholesome idol in training. Not a scene from Tentacle Torture Volume 47, but let's call it what it is, a vain smoke and mirrors rebrand. They want us to believe these girls are striving for idol status, sincerity, soft lighting, kawaii giggles. Yet behind the scenes, the same pipelines, offices, production, circulators, convenience store vending are still humming. It's like putting a floral filter over a haunted house and calling it cozy. One legit example, AV actresses forming idol units. I stumbled on news of Ichika Matsumoto and Sumire Kuramoto launching an idol unit called Fluir, set to debut May 31st, 2025. It's basically them trying to strap on idol marketing like a costume, presumably hoping fans follow the YouTube, Insta, and maybe sneak a DVD purchase too. This is the industry's strategy. Take AV content's most marketing-friendly elements, pretty girl, approachable smile, subtle nods to "I'm just like you, but more fun," and shove it through TikTok, Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Because hey, 90% of Japanese youth live on social media. But beneath it all, the transformation is skin deep. YouTube algorithms are fickle, fans want characters, not covers, and eventually those filters run out. And the DVD still hits the bargain shelf at Don Quixote. Want the sarcasm cranked to 11, maybe comparing promo shoots to J-pop auditions gone wrong? Or is this polished but pressure cooker tone good? Welcome to the part where we pull the velvet curtain and see who's actually watching. Or more accurately, who's pretending not to care. Cue the fan festivals. Once a year, AV stars step onto a stage to flash trophies and smiles, like prop-geared idols thanking their loyal subjects. At events like JE Japan Adult Expo, fans line up from as early as 4:30 a.m., clutching tote bags plastered with actresses' faces like holy relics. It's a bizarre religious experience where tears and flashes go hand in hand, even when the DVDs they're hyping land in hotel trash bins seconds later. Society's reaction? Mostly a collective shrug. Sure, there's controversy around forced appearances, and some hardship stories go viral, but the masses just scroll on. One expert noted that the industry's been blunt to society's reflexes, practically spoon-feeding dysfunction and expecting shock. But what they get is apathy. People shrug, change the channel and say, meh, that's just AV. Trying to peek into 5chan for nuanced fan discussions is like trying to find Zen in a mosh pit. The actress board allows one fan thread per celebrity, with antis strictly banned, but real insights scarce. It's more hot takes than thoughtful critique. On forums like lavender.5, ha.net, fans often complain when AV events overseas spark protests, like VIP ticket holders paying 360,000 yen, only to be met with anti-protests from local women's groups. The thread reads like, "Bro paid more than my rent and gets picketed. Life's wild." Academic asides, fans aren't always lone wolves surprise. A portion of fans aren't antisocial shut-ins. Scholarly research shows that while porn consumption is typically private, Japanese AV fans, especially of women-oriented content, are building communities online and off. They share stories, debate preferences, and yes, humanize what society treats as disposable. So while society often looks away, a dedicated group of fans, male and female, are quietly forming tight-knit social circles around AV. It's as if they've discovered a niche cult, but one that treats storytelling as legit, not trash. At the end of the day, let's drop the idle filters and 5 a.m. fanfests. The AV industry is above all a cash printer, and it runs on three things: youth, novelty, and men with too much free time. Revenue streams, a buffet of exploitation DVD and Blu-ray sales. Laugh all you want, but Japan is still hooked on physical discs. Walk into Don Quixote or Tsutaya, and there they are. Floor-to-ceiling shelves of shrink-wrapped fantasies. DVDs remain a steady revenue driver, partly because digital piracy is rampant, and partly because Japanese consumers love owning official goods, even if they're about to be tossed after one watch. Digital distribution and subscriptions platforms like Fanza, dm1.com, dominate the online market. Monthly memberships, pay-per-view downloads, and streaming libraries are designed to vacuum up disposable income, one pixelated click at a time. Some studios even run exclusive fan clubs, where members pay extra for live chats, photo sets, or birthday greetings, idle fantasy with a credit card gateway, events and meet and greets. This is where the industry really flexes. Fans pay thousands of yen just for a handshake, a 2-minute conversation, or, if they're extra lucky, a Polaroid photo. It's AKB 48 style monetization, except the girls don't pretend they're not in porn. Overseas markets, Japanese AV has surprisingly strong international sales, particularly in Asia. But here's the irony. Most overseas versions are uncensored thanks to lax distribution rules abroad, while the Japanese originals remain pixelated like some surreal modern art exhibit. Side hustles. Some actresses supplement income through YouTube ads, OnlyFans-style subscriptions, or even idol units that release singles. It's the ultimate diversification strategy, porn star by night, Instagram influencer by day. Who gets the money? Spoiler, not the actresses. A rookie tantai may pocket around 13 million yen, $10 30K for a debut. Sounds good, until you realize the office, production, distributor, and retailer skim most of the cream. By the time she's downgraded to kikaku, she's often working for peanuts. Meanwhile, the agency execs, distributors, and fanza laugh all the way to the bank. Here's the punchline of Japan's entire AV empire. It exists not in spite of Japan's conservatism, but because of it. Foreigners never get this. They land at Narita, see polite bowing, quiet trains, temples, and think, this is such a wholesome traditional society. Then boo, They stumble across an 18-plus convenience store section that looks like an Olympic warehouse of every fetish known to humankind. Conservatism as fertilizer for porn Japan is a master of paradox. In public, society is all about restraint. No loud voices on trains, no public kissing, and for heaven's sake, keep your family problems locked away. But that repression doesn't make desire disappear. It just forces it underground, where it ferments into something stronger. The result? AV is the nation's release valve. Conservative rules breed extreme outlets. Think of it as a cultural law of physics. The tighter the lid on expression, the more explosive the escape route. That's why Japan is both the world's politest society and the world's most prolific porn factory. It's not a contradiction. It's a symbiotic cycle. Foreigners will never understand. Westerners, especially Americans, don't get this. In the US, porn is seen as rebellious against conservative morality. In Europe, sex is treated as natural, so porn is just porn. But Japan, it builds the most gigantic adult industry in the world while still pixelating the genitals. That's not prudishness. It's ritualized denial. Pretend you're pure while consuming the most unpure content imaginable. It's the cultural equivalent of eating a 1500 calorie ramen bowl while insisting you're on a diet because you didn't finish the broth. So here we are, after 6 chapters of peeling back the glossy DVD covers, the Instagram filters, and the fake idol smiles. What's left? Japan's AV industry is not just porn, it's the ultimate mirror of the nation itself. On the surface, Japan sells itself as orderly, conservative, and wholesome, the land of cherry blossoms, tea ceremonies, and bowing shop clerks who hand you receipts like they're presenting royal scrolls. But behind that curtain is an industry worth billions, powered by a paradox so thick you could cut it with a samurai sword. Because here's the truth. AV isn't some shameful side hustle. It's a national pressure valve. A hyper-conservative society that suppresses emotion, affection, and even basic human intimacy needs an outlet. That outlet became an industrial machine that turns young women into idol fantasies, packages them like Pokemon cards, and sells them until the novelty fades. Foreigners don't get it. They see politeness, temples, and anime and think, this can't be the same country that invented pixelated tentacle porn, but it is. And that's precisely why it works. The repression fuels the fantasy, the politeness fuels the profit, and the silence of society allows the machine to keep running without ever being challenged. Meanwhile, the actresses, hailed as idols one year, discarded into ensemble projects the next, remain both the product and the victim of Japan's endless paradox. Offices and agencies pretend to humanize them on Instagram or YouTube, but at the end of the day, it's still a conveyor belt of youth, novelty, and obsolescence. And here's the kicker. While Japan's economy staggers, wages stagnate, and innovation stalls, the AV industry continues churning, one of the few areas where Japan remains globally dominant. Forget semiconductors or startups. Pixelated fantasy is Japan's most reliable export. So the next time someone tells you Japan is a nation of discipline and harmony, just remember, behind every quiet salaryman on the train, there's probably a Fanza subscription billing his credit card. If you found this breakdown helpful, or at least hilariously uncomfortable, don't just sit there silently like a Japanese office drone. Hit that like button, subscribe, and join me next time, where we'll unpack yet another uncomfortable truth Japan doesn't want you to notice. Because if Japan won't say it out loud, you know I will.